Her name was Alice Marble.
Marble was a transformative women's tennis player in the 1930s. She ushered in a more powerful women's game, serve and volley. Well, how good was she, you may ask? In 1939, she won Wimbledon's Triple Crown, the singles, the doubles, the mixed doubles, and oh, by the way, then she duplicated that same feat in the U.S. Championships. That year, she won the award for Women's Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, Wes, Marble had it all. She was a world-class athlete, she was attractive, and she was glamorous. Now, in 1933, after she had suffered a serious heat stroke in a match and later learned that she had tuberculosis, her Hollywood friend, Carol Lombard, wrote her a note saying, "Hang in there." And she did. It took her 2 years to recover, but she was able to get back.
And it wasn't just Carol Lombard. Hollywood was all over tennis back then, as she recounted to host Tom Seaver.
When you were playing then, of course, a lot of celebrities were playing tennis as well,
Almost
right?
everybody in Hollywood had a tennis court. You just name all these stars in the 30s.
What about Charlie Chaplin?
He was a left-handed tennis player and played the violin left-handed, and he had a tendency to call the balls a little too closely.
Are you inferring that sometimes,
Some people said he cheated.
So this was the glamorous world of tennis. And besides tennis, Marble was a clothing designer and a singer. She performed at clubs like the Waldorf Astoria Supper Club.
But it's not even the most intriguing part of Alice Marble's story. It actually begins during World War II. Marble was a patriot. During the war, she played exhibitions for the U.S. troops.
It was the most refreshing thing in the world to play with these boys. No more little polite clapping. We'd play with a general who didn't have any hair, and the kids would say, "Come on, Curly, get the hair out of your eyes." And we had to make a little monkeys out of the brass because we were supposed to entertain the enlisted men.
And this is where it gets interesting. According to her autobiography, published after her death, she had a relationship with a man in Army intelligence, and they got married after a brief courtship. Shortly after, he died, shot down over Germany. Well, to avenge his death, she became a spy for the U.S. government early in 1945. How in the world does that happen, Wes?
All right, so follow me here on this one. Before she got married, one of her lovers actually was a Swiss banker who was providing financial services to the Nazis. So U.S. agents hoped that Marble could find out some of his secrets. So they sent her to Switzerland to play in exhibitions, hoping he'd want to see her. Now, according to Marble, he took the bait. And she managed to discover a good amount of information about his dealings. And then she was found out.
Yeah, her story, which was never verified, continues like this. She was being chased by Nazi agents on a mountain in the Swiss Alps, protecting the information she had discovered from her Swiss banker friend. The car caught up to her and forced her to stop. And here's a quote from Marble's book. She said, "When my life was in danger, I did what I've always done. I fought. There was a confrontation, and the evidence she had gathered was forcibly taken from her. Then she ran. Shot rang out, and she said she was hit in the back."
Now, we remind you, this account comes from after her death, so there's really been no actual definitive verification of her account.
Either way, she's one heck of an interesting character.
That she was. We may never know the truth. And maybe that's for the best. Some stories are better left to intrigue and speculation. Alice Marble's story of being chased by Nazis in the Swiss Alps and being shot in the back, it's definitely one of them.